Don't do it.
Dude!
Oh my god! It's fall.
In this next clip, this kid tests out his brand new iPhone case by putting his phone inside the case and then smashing it with a hammer. Now, as you would imagine, the phone completely breaks, but he did not expect this to happen at all. Watch how he reacts when he realizes what he's done.
Привет всем! Сегодня я вам покажу фокус с телефоном Samsung.
It's easy to accidentally throw away something you didn't mean to. Keys, cell phone, maybe even a piece of jewellery. I know I've dumpster dived for a few things I didn't mean to toss. Fortunately, I've never accidentally chucked a tyre stuffed with money, a £300,000 ring, or a multi-million-dollar painting. Prepare to be amazed and horrified by these top 10 most expensive things ever thrown away.
Amazing!
Number 10. A $50,000 violin. Giuseppe Pedrazzini is a name that doesn't sound familiar to many people nowadays, except aficionados of classical music. He was a famous violin maker in Italy in the early 20th century. Fast forward to a few years ago, when a man hoping to find his wife a violin located one at a garbage dump. He thought it looked old and took it to the Antiques Roadshow to find out if it was worth anything, in the hopes he could use the money to buy a better instrument. However, he changed his mind after learning that the trash heap violin was made by Pedrazzini and was so prized it was worth $50,000. I bet that was music to his ears. Number 9. Wedding rings and more wedding rings. A Missouri woman named Carla Scuteri took off her $400,000 ring while washing her hands and wrapped it in a towel for safekeeping while it dried. Later, her husband was cleaning the kitchen and tossed the towel, unaware that it contained the ring. Sadly, neither of them realized it until after the trash had been collected. Initially told there was nothing the trash collection service could do, the couple appealed to their small town's mayor, and after that, a trash collection employee was able to get the truck diverted. At that point, Carla and her husband dug through a mountain of trash and eventually found the ring. Elsewhere, a woman named Anna McGuinn was super careful with her $10,000 ring. When she realized she had it on in the shower, she asked her husband Brian to put it somewhere safe so it wouldn't accidentally fall down the drain. That was good thinking, almost. On his way to toss out a razor, he took the ring with him, and eventually tossed it, too. They didn't realize it until the next day, after the trash was collected. Brian had to suit up in protective clothing to dig through garbage at the county dump, and he eventually found his wife's ring. After a very thorough cleaning, it's now back on her finger. Number 8. A tyre stuffed with cash. The idea of accidentally throwing away a tyre sounds a little far-fetched. After all, it's not exactly something small you can throw away without even thinking about it. Those things are heavy, and you're probably not going to move one without meaning to. Workers doing maintenance along Highway 70 outside of Indianapolis found a large tyre on the side of the road. Upon closer inspection, they realized it was actually stuffed with $5 and $100 bills. In fact, the stash in the tyre added up to $100,000. How someone managed to throw that away without noticing, I have no idea. But the next time I see a spare tyre along the road, I might just take a quick look at it. Number 7. $57,000 in payroll checks. As a senior compliance inspector at the Pinellas County Department of Solid Waste Operations, Alex Crawford finds some very unusual things at the dump. Once he saw a leg sticking out. Having watched a lot of crime shows, I probably would have thought it was a dead body and called the cops. But Crawford soon realised it was a prosthetic leg someone accidentally threw away, somehow. He charges people $100 for the privilege of digging through the trash for lost items. One man came out ahead when he found his $400 false teeth. But the real winner was a woman who had somehow managed to throw away $57,000 in payroll checks. Well, actually her employees were the real winners here. Number 6. 35-year-old baseball card collection. Jason Sauter was living in Manhattan at the time his mum, Susan, decided to clean out the closet in his old room. He planned to visit for Mother's Day, so Susan cleaned out the closet in his old room. Thinking she was getting rid of old clothes and bedding, she left the trash bags for a local charity called AmVets and thought nothing more about it. But on Mother's Day, Jason realized she'd tossed the bag containing his childhood baseball card collection. eBay on a good day. Other cards were also valuable, and the family believes the collection was worth between $5,000 and $10,000. Sadly, Mum really struck out when she cleaned that closet. When contacted, the charity said the cards must have been resold. I guess at least the money went to charity. Number 5. A $200,000 Apple computer. Silicon Valley is home to many large tech companies, including Apple, and also a recycling firm called Clean Bay Area. One day, a woman brought in several boxes of old electronics. She said she'd found them when cleaning out the garage after her late husband died and declined to leave her name. Several days later, employees sorting through the boxes found an Apple I, a rare early Apple computer. It's so rare, only about 200 were produced, as they were hand-assembled by founders Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ron Wayne. After confirming it was the real deal, Clean Bay Area sold the prized possession for $200,000. They said if the donor ever came back, they'd give her half, as they split proceeds with people who donate valuable items. Number 4. $1 million lotto ticket. A Massachusetts man named Kevin Donovan was in the habit of buying scratch-off lottery tickets and losing. One day he tossed a handful in the trash, not realizing one was actually a winner. Along came Edward St. John, an 83-year-old who stayed active by collecting old scratch-off tickets from the trash. Hey, everyone needs a hobby, right? It turned out one of the tickets was actually a $1 million winner. Donovan claimed the ticket was rightfully his, but the Lotto Commission ruled in St. John's favour, saying only possession was required to cash in the ticket, not proof of purchase. Donovan died shortly after, and his children tried to sue St. John, who ended up settling to avoid a long court battle. In a similar situation in Little Rock, Arkansas, a trash picker who found $1 million lotto ticket was sued not only by the person who threw it away, but also the store owner, who claimed there were no trash picking signs on store property. In the end, only the lawyers stuck it rich on that one. Number 3. $5 million in diamonds. Diamonds are so bright and sparkly, it's easy to be blinded. Maybe that's what's happened to the jewellery store employees who accidentally tossed $5 million worth of them in the trash. A security guard later found them, and he wasn't too bright either. Instead of socking them away and waiting until everyone forgot about the lost diamonds, he tried to sell them on the black market and promptly got caught. Number 2. The $1 million painting. On the other hand, honest people sometimes benefit from dumpster diving. A New Yorker named Elizabeth Gibson saw a 38 by 51 inch painting sitting by the curb with some other trash and decided to take it home. One day she was watching Antiques Roadshow and learned it matched the description of Tres Personages, a painting valued at $1 million that had been stolen 20 years earlier. There was a $15,000 reward offered, so she returned the painting. Police never figured out who left the painting on the sidewalk, and the building manager said the trash was collected 20 minutes after she snatched it up. Speaking of valuable art, a cleaner at an Italian gallery tossed the sculpture by Paul Branca, valued at $15,000. To be fair, the sculpture was shaped like 2 dustbins, as the artist wanted people to think about the environment. I hope at least it got recycled. Number 1. Bitcoins. In 2009, an IT worker named James Howells had mined people to think about the environment. I hope at least it got recycled. Number 1. Bitcoins. In 2009, an IT worker named James Howells had mined 7,500 bitcoins on his laptop during the early days of the cryptocurrency. Mining basically means that James set his computer to solve complex mathematical problems. In return, he received Bitcoin tokens, which back then were worth only around £20 in total. The Bitcoins were stored on his hard drive, and he forgot about them, eventually throwing away the hard drive after his girlfriend complained that the laptop was getting too noisy while working out the problems. When I checked recently, one Bitcoin was equal to $2,593.93. Multiplied by 7,500, that comes out to more than $19 million, lost in a landfill. Now that's an expensive bit of coin. His hoard can only be accessed using a private key or digital code, but the problem is that information is only stored on his laptop's hard drive. He raised money to go look for it in the landfill site, but the hard drive has not yet been found. If you happen to come across it though, James said he'll be happy to split the treasure, because you'll still need his help since the code is encrypted. Have you seen a shining example of something expensive getting tossed in the trash? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it and subscribe.